Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. How Chelsea beat Brentford, make it 5 wins in a row in the Premier League. 7 in a row in all competitions. We're going to break it down today. We're going to look at player ratings, player performances, average positions, and talk about some of the absolute stars of what is currently the second best team in England, apparently. When it comes to the form, there is no team that have won 5 in a row, apart from Chelsea. Look at the points. Liverpool are top on 36, game in hand, but it's a Merseyside derby, never easy. Chelsea 34, Arsenal 30, Forest 28, Man City 27, and then we're getting down towards your Aston Villas and then that chasing pack, and it's very close down to Manchester United. Chelsea right now, after 16 matches this season, for us to be second in the league and in the form that we're in, with the squad that we've got, with the manager that we've got, I'm telling you now, it's going to be, people are saying March, right? Fans are saying it's going to be March when we start to think, yeah, we can be in a title race. So I'm not going to overdo it, but I'm going to say this. If the table looks like this, which it does, there's no denying what we're seeing here. We're second in the league. We've got great fixtures coming up now. We can be top of the Premier League before Liverpool go to Spurs next weekend. And we know what Tottenham can do against the big teams. Not always, but I mean, that's Tottenham, Chelsea. We're used to that. We beat them every time. It's fine. So if Chelsea are sat top of the league, Liverpool go to Tottenham next week, even if they go and then get the result against Spurs and then they're back to the top of the Premier League before Christmas Day, this is still an unbelievable start to Chelsea's season. And I think when we start to talk now a little bit about the Brentford game yesterday, let me show you these stats here overall from the game. This is the overall match overview. We're using SofaScore today. I thought I'd change it up and let me know what you guys prefer. Do you prefer the who scored ones that we used against Spurs and Southampton, or do you prefer this? So you can see here, 62% of the possession for Chelsea yesterday, dominating the ball, as we seem to do pretty much every game right now. XG, 2.23, underperforming. As for Brentford, 1.61. Big shout out to Robert Sanchez. We'll go into him in a little bit. Big chances. 4 big chances for Chelsea, 4 for Brentford. But if we look here at the second half, Brentford outperforming Chelsea when it comes to the XG, but obviously not outperforming us because we both scored a goal each. 4 big chances for Brentford in that second half. I want to talk a little bit about that today, because when it comes to being realistic, when it comes to playing down this whole Chelsea are in a title race, can Chelsea win the league? I think we still need to be very honest when we say there are still teams in this division that are more consistent than us when it comes to the way that we defend. We're still learning. Arguably, again, we're still changing things quite often, which is working in Chelsea's favour. But at the same time, that partnership between Colwill, Fofana, it was building. And then Fofana gets an injury, which will see him out until probably the end of the year. So we've seen Badiashile. We saw Tosin yesterday. So it's not really a surprise. And as much as Robert Sanchez had a good game yesterday, I still do feel as though he does put players under pressure at times, which means that defensively, we're not going to be perfect. But still, we are absolutely improving. In terms of the goalkeeper saves, Flecker made 6, Sanchez made 3. Corners, we had loads of corners yesterday. And when we go through the player ratings, which we might as well start doing that now, if we take a look at those lineups here, this is Chelsea and Brentford. I want to show you something. The height of the Brentford centre-backs. Chelsea yesterday, we decided the game plan was to get the ball out wide, put crosses into the box. Fair enough. We won the match. Not complaining about that. But when you see the Brentford centre-backs, 192 centimetres, Van den Berg, 194 centimetres, Pinnock, 194 centimetre goalie, and 193 centimetres with Collins in the Brentford back line, it's not really a surprise that Chelsea, I think, crossed the ball yesterday more times than any team has attempted to so far in the Premier League this season. But when you look at our side here, apart from Colwill and Tosin, who are both above 6 foot, and Rob Sanchez, who's not going to be coming up and scoring headers from corners, unless we're 1-0 down in the 98th minute. You never know. Might happen. This isn't really a team that is blessed with an abundance of height. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, apart from the 8 corners that we've got, I don't see too many of these Chelsea players, particularly Sancho, your Nonnies, even your Palmers, really. I don't see those guys competing with Van den Berg, Pinnock, Collins, to get on the end of crosses. Even Nicholas Jackson gets on the end of one. Second minute of the game, Nicholas Jackson puts a header just wide. Not complaining about him missing that chance, but when you look at the average height of this Chelsea team, overall, it's actually higher. You can see here it's taller, but those Brentford centre-backs are big. So when it came to crossing the ball in yesterday, it was interesting, but Chelsea looked to utilise those wide areas. Jadon Sancho playing very, very well holding that width. If we take a little look now, this is where Chelsea are really thriving because we didn't have the most enthralling performance. It wasn't the most clinical performance, but look at every single player out there for Chelsea yesterday. At minimum, a green 7+ rating, which is considered to be very good. The average rating of the Chelsea team, 7.37, compared to the 6.86 of Brentford, who played with a 3-5-2. If we take a look at the highest rated player on the pitch, it was Noni Madueke. You can see here, hugging over that right touchline again. XG of nearly 0.5, no goals, expected assists. He got one. It was a brilliant cross from Noni. And I think when it comes to those accurate passes there, 94%, this is something that we're seeing a lot of from Chelsea right now. If we bring up Malo Gusto as well, look at how Malo Gusto is absolutely everywhere. This is Gusto's heat map. Playing as a traditional right back, but again, stepping in. There's, at times now, it's almost as if you've got both Cucurella and Gusto, or if it's Caicedo, it's Caicedo. It's not just one player who is the inverted player now, and then the other person is more of like a traditional, has a bit more defensive work to do. In game, we are seeing the average positions of these Chelsea players. If we get the whole thing up now on the screen, it's not like we're really hugging that touchline dramatically, but there were moments yesterday where we saw here, Malo Gusto, number 27. He was stepping up. He was getting even a shot away in the first half. Good save from Flecken. But it's also the same as Marc Cucurella, who is actually a lot wider than I thought it was. When we lined up at the start of the game, I genuinely thought it was going to be Cucurella that was that inverted player. But look at this. Arriving in the box. That's Marc Cucurella there for his goal. What a moment for him. You've got Tosin, who's kind of just marshalling that back line whilst Colwill goes out for that extra bit of protection on that left-hand side, covering this channel here. I thought Colwill had a great game. Thought Tosin also had a good game, but I could say that he could have done better for the goal. Caicedo. This guy, man. This guy is looking like a bargain. 115 odd million or whatever it was. People are like, how can you spend over 100 million on a footballer and say that it's a bargain? Look at this guy. He is absolutely everywhere. The defensive coverage in our own half yesterday was phenomenal. But look at these positions. Moises Caicedo is covering the whole pitch. He's absolutely everywhere. Post-match interview. Comes out and he says that N'Golo Kante is his idol. Look, this guy is playing more and more like N'Golo Kante was at his very best every single week. I don't remember the last time Caicedo put in a performance that was even average. The levels that this guy has hit in such a quick period of time has been absolutely incredible. You see here, Enzo Fernandez playing in that right channel. Cole Palmer predominantly playing on the left. We quite often see Palmer using that right-hand side and then cutting inside, but it was the left yesterday. And then Nicholas Jackson, as he always does. A little bit everywhere, to be honest. Gets himself a good goal. Probably should have had more. But overall, you look at those average positions and Chelsea covered the whole field again. You've got players in roles absolutely everywhere. Noni, Gusto, right side covered. Cucurella, Sancho, left side covered with Colwill there. You got Palmer. There's so much balance in this team right now. And if you look at the average position here, this is very interesting. Caicedo, Jackson and Enzo, so close together on the field. Nicholas Jackson's sacrificial work that he does for the team to drop deep, get himself involved. We've seen it a lot more in recent games. Nicholas Jackson isn't necessarily actually on the ball as much as we maybe used to see him do. If we actually take a look here at Nicholas Jackson's stats, he was subbed off in the 83rd minute for Nkunku, who didn't actually manage to make a single pass in the whole game. But, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that, really. The XG, Nicholas Jackson should have scored more. He could have easily had 2 or 3. To be honest, 4 shots off target, 2 shots on target, 36 touches of the ball. 1 in 6 of those are shots. For a striker, that's what you want to see. You want to see Nicholas Jackson predominantly doing the work where he's just got to get a shot away. And I think the last couple of games, we kind of see him snatching a little bit of chances. I don't necessarily know if it is a concern maybe of Jackson. Maybe there is still conversations happening at Chelsea right now. Will we bring in a striker in January? Is it even the right thing to do? I want to know what you guys think about this in the comments down below, because Nicholas Jackson is one of those players where, like, recency bias in football is a thing. We all know that. I'm definitely aware that I can be very biased based on recency, right? But Nicholas Jackson misses one chance and everyone hates him. Next minute he scores and everyone loves him again. I think when it comes to Jackson, sometimes he scores the chances that you don't necessarily expect him to, and then misses the ones where you would probably expect him to score or at least hit the target. And I think if we get these stats up again, 53% pass accuracy, won half of his duels, half of his aerial duels, lost possession 14 times. But I would say that Nicholas Jackson is being bold right now with the way that he's trying to play. He's being patient. He's got to be patient. But when you see the kind of work that someone like Jadon Sancho is putting in, 69 touches of the ball, 87% pass accuracy. Jadon Sancho looked absolutely brilliant again. Noni as well. I thought Noni had a very good game too. If we compare the key metrics here for both Noni and Jadon Sancho, both of these two just absolutely delivering. The highest rated player on the field was Noni Madueke, and to be fair to the naked eye, I thought maybe he was a bit more wasteful than he was. But 94% pass accuracy. This is great stuff. And I think overall right now, look at this momentum chart here for Chelsea on the left-hand side of the screen. This is about as dominant of a home Premier League performance as you can get. This whole game here, you can see maybe just 2 moments in that first half where Brentford are even remotely on the attack. The way that we're controlling matches right now is just absolutely phenomenal. I think there were moments yesterday in that first half in particular where I thought we maybe missed Lavia a little bit. I think when it comes to Brentford, you know that they've got players that can hurt you all over the field, whether it's a counter-attacking goal, like we saw yesterday, Bryan Mbeumo scoring a good finish. Not really going to say too much about Sanchez for that one. But look at this, like, it's just like maybe a 15, 20-minute spell in that second half where Brentford are obviously going to be going for it a bit more. They know that they've been in the game. They've defended well. Their goalkeeper's made tons of saves. And they might as well go for it. This is something we see from Brentford week in, week out. They're never afraid to go at opposition teams. I gave the man of the match in the 6 Things We Learned video to Moises Caicedo. This guy, look at this. Interceptions, 4 interceptions, double the amount of interceptions as anyone else. Tackles yesterday, Enzo Fernandez doing well, Nicholas Jackson also, Marc Cucurella. What we're seeing right now from this Chelsea team is absolutely everybody, man to man right now, is putting in a shift. The fight that we saw, there was the moment where I think the ball is like there's a bit of head tennis going on in the middle. Marc Cucurella's leaping like a salmon, winning the ball. Caicedo diving into every single tackle. But not just diving into every tackle. It's the quality that we see every single time he's out there. Overall, right now, Chelsea, we're doing more than just ticking over. Each player is understanding the role that they've been given. Every player right now in different games, if it isn't Cole Palmer stepping up, Nico Jackson scoring goals. If it's not Sancho, it's Noni. Like, there's always somebody right now delivering for Chelsea at the time in which we need it. If we take a look at this as well yesterday, 26 shots, 8 on target. This is a wasteful game, really, from Chelsea. Like, again, Brentford hit the woodwork. Brentford had 4 big chances. Like, we could have easily not won this game, and I don't think anyone could have been too upset about it. But it is the fact that we're getting 6 shots from outside the box, 20 shots from inside the box. These numbers here, Chelsea in some matches, we scored 6 away from home. We've had 5 away from home. We've been scoring so many goals. We're still the top goal scorers in the Premier League. And, you know, some games you're not going to be able to convert as high of a percentage as you'd like to. Some games it's not going to be as accurate. But just seeing these numbers again, game after game right now, Chelsea are just dominating every single team that we play. As well as this, if you look at the attack concentration of play, the majority of the attacks yesterday coming down the left-hand side. It's because Marc Cucurella was having a brilliant game and Sancho was hugging that touchline, bringing Chelsea that width, but also coming inside really well as well, with Palmer being over there on the left too. Nearly 3 times the amount of touches in the opposition penalty area as Brentford did. Like, the fact that we're not giving the ball away, this is excellent. 50% of long balls also yesterday. You can see here, Brentford did win the majority of the duels, but they're a physical team. You sometimes can expect that. And in terms of the goals prevented, look, Robert Sanchez absolutely deserves his flowers for what was an absolutely brilliant display from him yesterday. 6 high claims in the box as well. If you remember back to the days when Kepa was the Chelsea goalkeeper, the amount of times I look at Kepa and I'm like, this guy can't even come and claim a cross, let alone anything else. It was a demanding, commanding performance yesterday from Rob Sanchez. And I think the most important thing for me when it comes to analysing this game is that Chelsea didn't play brilliant, but yet we still won. We ended a 3-match losing streak at home to Brentford in the Premier League, but they've beaten us every time they've played us in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, including the capitulation that we saw when Rudiger scored that worldie that should never have been on the losing side, but we lost 4-1 under Thomas Tuchel. I watched Joey Knight's video as well, and he enlightened me that we had been on a 6-game winning run that day, and then we lost the 7th match to Brentford. Now, we're on a 6-match winning run, and we beat Brentford. The difference right now for this Chelsea team is absolutely electrifying. And if we get the fixtures up here as well, let's take a little look at the games that we have got to come up in the next couple of weeks. Shamrock Rovers before Christmas. That's going to be fun. If you're watching that game, it's going to be brilliant, isn't it? Irish in town before Christmas. It's going to be a party there. Everton away. Chelsea, we're going somewhere, guys. We absolutely are going somewhere. And look, I know that a lot of people are saying we're not in a title race, whatever. Just keep winning. I'm absolutely on board with this, but I'm a football fan who loves to dream. I'm a football fan who does like to get excited because it makes being a fan better. It makes it more enjoyable to dream, to believe that you can. And I'm sorry, but the more we keep winning, the more I can't listen to we're not in a race. Whatever. Say whatever you want. Whatever makes you feel good, all right? Whatever makes you feel better. But on GBFC, I will let my head go sometimes. That's what I do. That's what I love about being a football fan. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Can we do it? I'm going to ask after every single win or loss. Although the losses, it will probably be no. Of course we can't. You should never have said it in the first place. But I want to know what you guys think. Can we win it? Can we do it? Another good win. Brentford are a good side. We've beaten that voodoo now and that little hoodoo we've got at Stamford Bridge. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. Check out the 6 Things We Learnt videos. Subscribe to GBFC if you are new and haven't already done so. Loads of content coming your way this week. I'll see you guys in the next one.